Governor McAuliffe, thanks so much for joining us. Northam is now saying it's not him in the photo. Do you believe him?
It doesn't really matter what I believe or anyone else believes. When this first came out Friday afternoon, and Jake, when you invited me on the show, my wildest dreams never thought you and I would be having this conversation. So when the photo came out Friday afternoon, when it was sent to me, I said there is absolutely no way that Ralph Northam is in this picture. And then Friday evening, it came out that Ralph indeed was, he said, he was in the picture. And at that point, for me, morally, the only right thing to do, and it was hard. I called Ralph on Friday night. It was one of the hardest things I had to do. Was my lieutenant governor. We worked closely together. We did so many great things working together for the Commonwealth of Virginia. But once that picture where the blackface and the Klansman came out, there is no way you can continue to be the governor of the Commonwealth of Virginia. We have had a horrible and sordid past as it relates to race relations. We worked very hard, Ralph and I, over the last 5 years to move the state forward. If you remember 1902, a state senator said that I'm putting a felon disenfranchisement in our Constitution, quote, to eliminate the darky from being a political factor in Virginia. I was proud to, 114 years later, give those felons their rights back. But we've worked hard in Virginia. So this is, I got to tell you, it's heartbreaking. It has been one of the worst 48 hours. But Virginia needs to come out of this stronger. I can't sit here and pretend and be in the steps of those individuals who have been offended by those photos.
Well, let me ask you.
I can't.
If it's not him in the photo, which is what he's saying, why do you still think he should resign?
Well, first he said it was Friday night. And if it wasn't him in the photo, he should have said that on Friday. I have no idea what was going on in the governor's office on Friday. I just, if you're not instinctively, you know if you put black paint on your face. You know if you put a hood on. And so if it isn't you, you come out with immediately and say, this is not me. So I can't understand what's going on, but I do know this. Ralph is a good, moral, decent man and may have made some mistakes in his past. We all have made mistakes. Ralph will do the right thing for the Commonwealth of Virginia. He will put Virginia first, and I think that will happen relatively soon. He's worked hard. You know, thanks to Ralph's efforts, we got Medicaid expansion done. But we have to move on. You cannot be the moral leader. I mean, we are now in crossover in Virginia where the legislation goes from the House and Senate back and forth. I can remember as governor, this is your busiest time.
Right.
You're working with your legislators to pass bills, kill bills. I mean, you've got to work as one unit to move your Commonwealth forward, and he's just not going to have that ability to do it. The head of the Black Caucus yesterday said if he doesn't resign, they'll move to remove him themselves from the legislature. So we just need to put this behind us. We need to move forward. And that's what we have to do.
So when you say you think he's going to do the right thing, you mean he's going to resign. You want him to resign. Do you agree with the head of the Black Caucus that he should be removed from office if he does not resign?
I know Ralph very well. It will not come to that. And if Ralph is watching this today, I know how much he loves this Commonwealth of Virginia. And you've got to make the right decision. You've got to make the right moral decision. We have to bring people together. We've had a horrible history in Virginia. He and I working together, and you know, he chaired the child cabinet that I formed with my wife to feed needy children. He's done so many great things. It's not about Ralph anymore. This is about who we are as Virginians and how we move forward. So he's going to do the right thing. I know in his heart he's going to do the right thing.
Governor, I want you to watch a clip from yesterday's press conference, a question for Governor Northam. After he admitted that he did wear blackface, but not in that photo. He wore blackface as part of a Michael Jackson costume for a dance competition in San Antonio in 1984. Take a look.
Are you still able to move on?
Inappropriate circumstances.
My wife says inappropriate circumstances.
So as I don't need to tell you, Governor, there are a lot of people in Virginia and throughout the country who are really hurting because of this racist image. You just saw Governor Northam smiling, contemplating, showing the press his ability to moonwalk. Do you think that Governor Northam understands how serious this is and how much pain he's caused?
I think there is so much coming out. I mean, I winced when I saw that yesterday. First of all, totally inappropriate question from the reporter. We're talking about a very, very serious issue. And I agree with the First Lady of Virginia. I agree with Pam Northam. That was totally inappropriate. And I just think, Jake, he's sitting there and, you just can't imagine what's going on in his mind today with everybody and calling for his resignation. And I just go back to the point, he has done so many great things for Virginia through the years. It doesn't matter whether he was in the photo or not in the photo at this point. We have to close that chapter. We have to move Virginia forward. Justin Fairfax, African-American lieutenant governor, will do a great job of bringing folks back together. But this is a part of chapter of Ralph's life, and as I say, he'll be remembered for so many great things, but he will also be remembered in a time of need that he chose the right moral course for Virginia, and he resigned, and we moved forward.
I just have to ask you, though, sir, he was your lieutenant governor. It's not just the photograph on his yearbook page. He also, in his Virginia Military Institute high school yearbook page, he's identified one of his nicknames as Coon Man, which he has yet to explain. There's also video out there circulating of him refusing to shake the hand of his black opponent after a 2013 debate. I know that the Ralph Northam you know, in your words, is a good man. But has he also been a racist?
I have zero indication of that. As I say, family doctor, had military service, had been a state senator, ran for lieutenant governor, and literally at my side. I mean, we leaned historic investment in K-12 to make sure that, underserved schools had the right teachers. And as I say, to make sure every child had a nutritious breakfast, working with my wife, Dorothy, on that. I mean, when I did the restoration of rights and was sued by the Republicans to stop me from doing it, Ralph was always at my side. So I can't answer it, Jake. I'm telling you, I'm heartbroken. I don't know how. I mean, I have been, it is, on Friday, I just don't, I can't explain to you my feeling. But, it doesn't matter how Terry McAuliffe feels. That photo that was in that yearbook was so offensive to the African-American community that I can't be in their shoes, and we've just got to get past this.
I want to ask about another controversy.
I knew at a young age, blackface, 1985, you just didn't do it.
Yeah. I have to ask,
it was offensive. I'm sorry,
I have to ask about another controversy in Virginia over legislation that would loosen restrictions on late-term abortions. I want you to take a listen to what Governor Northam said about third trimester abortions on a local radio show, WTOP, I believe.
It's done in cases where there may be severe deformities, there may be a fetus that's non-viable. So in this particular example, if a mother is in labor, I can tell you exactly what would happen. The infant would be delivered. The infant would be kept comfortable. The infant would be resuscitated if that's what the mother and the family desired. And then a discussion would ensue between the physicians and the mother.
Do you support this new legislation, and what was your reaction to the governor's comments there?
Absolutely not. And I think Ralph misspoke on that. No Democrat I know is for infanticide. None. I just don't know of anyone who is for it. Listen, Ralph was at my side. When I ran for governor 5 years ago and got inaugurated, it was the Republicans who were changing all the regulations to make clinics, Planned Parenthood clinics, put in more water fountains, more parking spaces, all to shut all of our clinics down. I'm very, very proud that I replaced the Board of Health, and working with Ralph, we got rid of all of those horrible regulations to shut our Planned Parenthood clinics down. So, that's the battle that we've been having in Virginia. Where we come from is, life of the mother in the last trimester. But I do not support that legislation, nor does Ralph. And I just think, he was speaking as a doctor, and what he was trying to say, I'll be honest, he was inartful, and that's not who he is.
Governor, obviously we asked you to come on the show to talk about national issues having to do with Medicare for All, et cetera, and I hope you'll come back under different circumstances. But before you go, last question. You said a month ago that the odds of you running for president in 2020 were about 50-50. What's the update? Are they still 50-50? Are you planning on running?
So I've said I'd make a decision by March 31st. I have been talking to other candidates. I want to see what the positions are out there. I'm going through the process. I've outreached over 400 people. I've talked to individuals out there. And listen, We had a very successful run as governor of Virginia, bringing people together, building a new economy. I've said we need a Democrat running for president that has practical, actionable, can actually get things done, and who can show results. So, we've got about 6-7 weeks to finish making my decision, and I'm talking to a lot of people. And if I do, I promise you, Jake, you'll be the first to know. How's that?
Okay. I'm sure I will be the first to know. But still about 50-50, you think, or maybe 60-40 in favor? What do you think?
Yeah, I'd say, I'd like to do it. I think we had a great track record in Virginia, great success that we had, very results, record, economic investment and all the things that we're able to do, very progressive agenda, but also very economic focus. We built a new economy. That's what America needs. They want a president who is compassionate, who has empathy, and who tells the truth.